Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to ToeTag's gear list video post-AT. We are literally leaving today on a plane to go back to San Diego from Albany, New York, and we decided, since we have a little bit of time, that we would do a post-AT gear video. Not all the gear that we enter the trail is the same as when we exited. We've made gear changes along the way, so we might as well go over it, what we liked by the end of the trail. So kind of cool. It's my first video doing this, so it's a little overwhelming when you finally get everything put together, but this is awesome. And shout out to the Codgers for doing one of these after their AT hike that we watched, and we got inspiration from them. So yeah. We'll start with the big boy, the big Gregory Baltoro. This is a 75. I started the trail with a 65, but you may remember that I started having issues with my hip belts. It came detached from the frame, so I contacted Gregory. Pretty awesome customer service. They very quickly shipped this out to me, and I got it in New Hampshire for some of the final legs of the trail. So overall, I liked it. It's not your typical through hiking backpack. It's a great section hiking weekend trip backpack. It's got tons of room. It's got tons of accessories and stuff with it, like so many bells and whistles on it. But bells and whistles weigh a lot, especially bells. They're made out of metal. So I had it, so I used it. I did the PCT with it because I had it, so it just made sense. But now, as I move forward looking at other thru hikes, I'm probably going to be researching into a lighter weight backpack, because 5 pounds for a backpack is crazy. I could probably take at least 3 pounds off my base weight by just changing my backpack alone. So in the future, but I do like it. Very comfortable, very adjustable. Like I said, tons of bells and whistles. So yeah, that's my backpack. And then we'll go straight into the big boys. We have in this bag that I got in a hiker box. This is a Hilltop bag that I found in a hiker box because it's easier to put your bag to an oversized. It's easier to put your tent into an oversized bag than try to shove it in the little bag that it comes in. So really quickly, actually the first day I got this. Yeah, this is my tent. This is my Nemo Osmo Elite 2-person tent. And you may remember once again that I had issues with it, small issues. During trail days, they upgraded me for free. So I've been carrying this since Damascus. So 1,700 miles, just over 1,700 miles with this tent. Still going strong. Here's the poles for it. And my stakes are inside my poles. I use a variety of stakes that I've had and accumulated and found on trail, so they're inside of there. It fits in there nice and easily. So these, that's my tent, and then I'll go straight into the big three, but sleeping system. This first year I've used this. I did not have this on the PCT, but through the recommendation of the lovely Zippys, I got myself a lightened equipment. This is the Revelation. Yes. So it can come undone. The toe box can open up. It can pretty much come complete like a blanket, and then I can put it back together. 20 Fahrenheit. That's right. Thank you. 20 Fahrenheit. I have the 20D on the outside, which is the stronger material, and then it comes. I think it's automatically a 7D on the inside. 20D, the advantages of it is that it's stronger, more durable, and more water repellent. But the disadvantage of it is it's a little more stuffy. It doesn't breathe as well because of the water repellent qualities. It doesn't breathe as well. But I do say that I absolutely love this quilt. Holy cow. If you're a hot sleeper like I am, I can never stay cool enough. I can really easily get my legs in out of it. I can open it up, but I found that I didn't really need to do that. I pretty much just draped it over myself if I was super hot and have my feet sticking out. But overall, this thing would keep me warm when it got cool very well. It packs super small. It's pretty light compared to most quilts and sleeping bags. Packs down super small. I have the down version, not the synthetic, if you're wondering. Never really had an issue with it. There would be some times when it would get definitely a little damp on the inside from just it touching the walls of my tent, but it never really stopped working. And then when you're in town or on a warm day, you get it out, you just make sure you air it out. Whenever you're in like a hotel or a hostel, just make sure you're airing it out just to keep, mostly the toe box was the thing that was really getting just a little bit. But once again, I have the 20D, so I feel like that kept it down to a minimum. And with a little refresh at every town, it is absolutely brilliant. I love this quilt. Thanks Zippy for the recommendation.
Yeah.
Fell in love with that. And with my quilt, where is it? Here it is. I use a liner. I love a good liner, sleeping bag liner. Once again, I'm a hot sleeper, so a lot of nights I could just fall asleep with this on, which is amazing. And it keeps the stink of my quilt down, and this is easily washed. It also is my laundry bag. When I get into town and I'm trying to gather all my laundry, instead of having all my bits and bobs flying everywhere and possibly losing a sock, I just start shoving all of my laundry into this. I'd have Zippy shove her laundry into this, carry this straight to the laundry mat or to the laundry machine, and just turn it upside down and dump it in. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your laundry. So I love it. Yeah. Pro tip right there. Yeah. Yeah, it's just all around. This is it's polyester, but I think it's like the fake silk is what it's Cocoon brand, which you find all over the place. I think REI sells them and stuff like that. This is not it's the polyester version. I had this on the PCT. I had it on the AT. Still going strong. Not a hole in it. Super durable. As long as you don't just start like trying to break the seams, you won't. So love this. Love this. Then let's go on to my sleeping pad right here. The Nemo Tensor. This is the regular wide version, the rectangle, not the mummy bag, the rectangle. It is amazing. Super durable. I've had this since Kennedy Meadows of the PCT. So 1,100 miles-ish of the PCT plus 2,200 miles of the AT, so 3,300 miles on this bad boy, and it's still going strong. Never had an issue. I like the valve system of it compared to some of the other ones. It's not one of those twist valves. It's more of a big, like a shove it in valve, and it pops out, and then it's got a bag in there. It's got the little inflatable, the pump sack, and it has a valve. The valve it's kind of like a double valve thing where you take the first layer off and it holds the air and you can just barely push it and it releases it, and that's also where you put your stuff sack into, and then you pull the next one out and it totally deflates it. And I really like that because you don't try to fiddle with fiddle with a valve when you're trying to deflate it. All I do is go a couple taps and I can feel where I'm at, and really nice. So love this. Absolutely love this sleeping pad. Yeah, let's just go straight. Since we're talking about sleeping, I might as well go straight into clothes because they kind of overlap a little bit. This is my puffy. Not sure what brand it is because I cut the tags out. I got it on Amazon for, I don't know, $50. Not your lightweight. You might notice a trend with my gear that it's not the lightest weight stuff on the market. But there's some learning curves, but there's also a balance of adapting as you learn and maybe just making use of the gear you have, because I don't like wasting stuff. I don't like more environmental impact and all that kind of stuff. So I already had it from the PCT. I'm a warm guy, so I don't really use it a lot, but the cool thing about this, it's like, it's got a pocket inside. I keep my buff in it. Yeah. And so that way, I never have to look for my buff, because this is the buff I got from Outdoor 76. Shout out to them. Great little outfitter in Franklin and Clayton on the AT, supplying us with free buffs that are actually kind of cool. You tie one end.
There's a pro tip coming.
Yeah, this is another Zippylanius taught me this. And this now is my pillow. And I do it like that, and bam, I have my pillow. So the buff stays inside my puffy because I know exactly where it is. When I get it out, when I'm in it at night or I get it out to sleep, I know I can get my buff really quickly, make my pillow, I'm off to sleep. I leave one arm out because it doesn't fit very well in there. And also, when you're sleeping on it, if you want, shoof. Just like that, I have my I have a whatever you call it, I don't know, sleeping mask. Yeah, eye mask. It's because when if you're trying to go to bed and somebody's using their flashlight to like do stuff in their tent, which is normal, and it's crazy how much somebody's tent will light up from them using inside. They're trying to just do something right here, but it lights up the whole tent. You're next to them, you're getting a light show. So this just kind of cuts out the light. It's really easily, when I'm sleeping, I can really easily find it. Over the night, it might come undone a little bit. I can't really tie it. It needs to be a little longer. If I could tie it like that to just stop it from coming out. But to be honest, it does not really a big issue. So bam, pillow, puffy, buff, all in one right there. I'll leave it like that because it's kind of cool. And while we're in clothes, we got, obviously, I got this. Made this myself. This is, I think it's A3. This is not a brand that you'll find as like outdoor gear. It's more like a branded apparel gear, but I made it myself. My customer's place just sublimated my own little PCT logo on it. I'll probably make some AT stuff too. I liked it, to be honest. I like a nice sun hoodie. Keeps you cool when you need to be cool, just a little bit of warmth when you want to stay a little bit warmer. You wet it and it becomes super nice and airy, ventilating, cooling. And yeah, then I got my Columbia Omni Shade shorts that have the zipper attachment legs, which are still in my backpack. But you know the thing, you know the deal. Oh yeah, I'll get my parent gun now. I can zip these on when I want to be a little bit warmer, which I've done maybe twice. So, but once again, I'm a warm guy. But it's nice to have them just in case, because we were expecting cooler weather than we got, but you always need to be prepared for the worst. So it's hard to go into it thinking that it's going to be 27 degrees Celsius in the whites when some people get much colder than that. We got lucky. Wasn't very windy. It was pretty warm, but you can't always get that. So always be prepared. And that way I have shorts and pants at the same time. Super lightweight. They're starting to wear out a little bit, but I mean, I had them on the PCT and the AT, and I had to sew some of the crotch area, some of the side. I ripped a whole pocket off, but actually it was attached in a way that it didn't really affect it, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And then what I just found in that pocket also was my Patagonia Houdini. What an amazing piece of gear this is. Super light, super wind resistant. As Zippy pointed out to me on the PCT, does not count as a rain jacket, which is what I had it for. Silly Billy Jordan, ToeTag. I had this on the PCT, but the PCT, we didn't get rained on, so it didn't really matter until Washington. So I love my Houdini. Wake up in the morning, I'm trying to pack my puffy away because it goes with my sleeping bag. My quilt inside of my dry bag, so I want to get that away. I throw this on. This can be my more of a sweaty hiking warmth layer, and this is more of a keep it till nighttime layer. So love the Houdini. Highly recommend the Houdini. Packs down small, weighs I think less than 100 grams for my size, even less for a Zippy sized one. And then we'll go on to some base layers. I got this from Decathlon. Zippy brought it from UK Decathlon. I think it was like 16 quid, so probably about like 20 bucks. Super affordable. Not the lightest weight one, along with the Trend. Funny enough, I don't think I ever wore this. Shipped it ahead to myself. When it started getting warmer, I shipped it ahead in preparation for the whites, and because we got good weather on the whites, I didn't need it. But yeah, I think once again, better to be prepared. And then here's my base long johns. Got these on Amazon. These are decently light. Wore these I think once. But yeah. So long john layers. I got my sleeping shirt. This is just your basic polyester shirt that I had made. This is from my old work. I heat pressed this myself. Yeah, I like a shirt to sleep in because then you're not just in your sweaty shirt. I would hang this up, my hiking shirt, I'd hang up in my tent, and then I had a nice dry shirt to put on while I was sleeping. Also became my town shirt because your sleeping shirt's not going to get too dirty. You could wash it every few towns, but when you get into town, you take a shower, you could just throw this right on and be comfortable and dry and clean. Yeah, so I like a good sleeping shirt. And a backup, this could be your hiking shirt if you really needed it to. If your hiking shirt rips, starts wearing, is super drenched and you just don't want to put it on your last day into town, throw this on, hike to town, take a shower, and do your laundry. Use your Houdini as your temporary shirt, loaner clothes, whatever you can. So it's kind of like a backup hiking shirt. And then we got rain pants. These are Columbia rain pants. Probably one of my ways that I can lower my base weight is with these bad boys. These weigh way too much. I think they weigh 3 times as much as Zippy's range pants. And for me, pretty much use these for laundry. It's what happened. I never really cold enough to put these on. When it's raining, it doesn't matter. Like your legs are super warm when you're raining. Don't really matter if they're wet. Everything's gonna be wet anyways. So I use these for laundry, and for that purpose, you don't need something this heavy. So kind of one of my regrets, but also, like I said, I had it, might as well use it. A little too heavy. Definitely can get down the base weight on that one. And then we'll go into my sockies. Obviously, Darn Toughs. I have a pair of the Micro Cruise Darn Toughs, medium weight full cushion, and then I have a pair of the ankle ones. I forgot what they're called, quarter length or something like that. Once again, medium weight full cushion. I like having 2 pairs of socks. When one starts to get nasty, you could switch to the other one, do a couple days in this one, and by then they're going to be crusty and just not as comfortable for your feet, more prone to blisters when they all get all gunked up and stuff. So switch to your other ones. You could be rotating. If one gets a hole in it, you can save that. You can not wear that one as much. Get to a place that does exchange, which we've done. I think we've done 3 exchanges on the AT. We've purposely went to places, so they're pretty regular on the AT. There's more that we didn't go to, but really easy to get your Darn Toughs exchanged on the AT. And also, if you know that they love thru hikers, send them an email. There's a special process for thru hikers to get your exchanged. You don't have to ship them away, get a code, and go to the code thing. You pretty much send them pictures and they send you a new pair because they love thru hikers. So definitely give Darn Toughs a shot. I think they're the #1 sock on the trail for a reason. Not only are they super comfortable, super cushiony, they do last long, but when they do finally wear out, because 2,000 miles on socks, you can really easily exchange them. So yeah, 2 pairs of socks, and with those I use Injinji toe liners. I use the wool ones. I used the polyester ones, the white ones on the PCT. I felt like they didn't last as long, so I just wanted to try out the wool ones. I think the wool ones last longer. They're a little warmer, but because they're a little thicker and a little warmer, I think they lasted as long. I only had to go through, I've fully used two sets of 2 pairs, and now this is my 3rd set, but I barely just got them. These are pretty fresh. So I probably could have got away with 2 sets of 2 during the trail. But I swear by these. I've told a bunch of people on the trail, I don't have blister problems. I'm prone to having pinch blisters, which is when your small toe gets pinched by the toe next to it because it kind of curls under. And this helps separate your toes, and it is amazing. I just cannot hike without these. One time I tried to do 7 miles with these, started feeling like I was getting blisters, threw these on, those feelings went away. I swear by these. So 2 sets of socks, 2 sets of liners, and that's my go-to combo right there. While we're talking about shoes, feet, I'll really sneak in that
Ooh, the big boys.
yeah, controversial. These are Solomon X Ultra Pioneers. They are discontinued, so it's hard to find these days. You can still find them right now, but they might not be. They're going to get harder and harder to find. These are a heavy shoe compared to most people's shoes. They're not boots. They're a hiking shoe. So they're a little heavier on your feet, but with that disadvantage in mind, they're also hard. They take longer to dry. So they're heavier, take longer to dry are the disadvantages. The advantages are super cushiony, hard toe fronts. When I stub my toes, it's not as detrimental. I stub my toes a lot. I don't know if I'm more or less than the average person. Maybe just when you hike this many miles, you're gonna have to stub your toe a lot if you're trying to go fast. But when I do, it's not like critical, oh my gosh, my toe feels like it got destroyed. Hard toe box kind of helps me out. But they're a little small toe box. So I guess that's one of the disadvantages too. They are one of the narrowest shoes on the market, but my feet are pretty narrow, so they kind of work fine. And these bad boys last me about 1,200 plus miles. So 2 pairs got me through the entire AT, which is, I think, a huge advantage. Not just the cost, but the anxiety of trying to coordinate multiple shoe drops along the trail. What if the order goes wrong? What if shipping gets delayed and you're already past that? Now you're trying to balance it. Like shipping can really be a question mark on the trail, because it can be like, how long is this going to take to ship? How long is it going to take me to get to that town? If not that town, I got to go to the next town. It just starts becoming sometimes a logistical nightmare. And I shipped myself. I started with a pair about just past halfway, I think 1,250 miles. Duncannon. No, Port Clinton. Port Clinton was where I got these shipped to from my house. I had my lovely mother. Hi, Mom. Love you.
Hey, hi, Mom.
I had my mom, who was my support crew, sending me my boxes. I had her put my food and these in a large flat rate box, USPS flat rate box, ship them to me. Done deal. That's it. That's all my shoes. My shoe faff for the whole trail was 1 box, and it arrived, and I never had to worry about it again. With those, I use Dirty Girl Gaiters, the best gaiters. Oh my gosh. I started with a pair that I used on the PCT, and then eventually I had to repair them because I kick my own shoes. You can tell that my shoes are worn on the sides. These aren't getting too bad, but I have a problem of kicking my shoes together, and that'll eventually wear out your gaiters. So I had to replace these once. That's it. The whole trail. 2 pairs, and one of them came from the PCT. Really, really nice. Super affordable. You'll find them at some outfitters. And yeah, I love these. I think it's a smaller company, and they send you the Velcro a bunch of it too. So you just attach it to the back, make sure it's clean. I would give a little alcohol wipey down. Like for me though, I ordered my shoes in San Diego. I ordered them. The first thing I did was put Velcro on both pairs, fresh shoes, hadn't been worn, so I knew they were clean. And they had Velcro on them when I shipped them to myself to Port Clinton already. So that was super convenient. But yeah, I can't say enough how much I like Dirty Girls. It sounded bad. On to the rest. Oh, well, while we're in the shoe area, we'll give a shout out to the Crocs. They're iconic. They've been on my back in Ash's videos more than she wants to admit. Yeah, I mean, what can I say about these? They're heavier, sticking with the theme. They're heavier than your average camp shoe, but they attach to your feet in sport mode. Initiate sport mode. For river crossings, you can't stub your toes. They protect your toes. And when I try to switch to a different Solomon on the PCT, and I started tearing up my ankles, my back of my heel, I was literally bleeding, had big gashes. I switched to these and I hiked 100 miles in these to the next town, and it worked. 20 miles a day. It's amazing. It's amazing what Gators can do. They're getting so worn out, but Crocs, sorry. I always call Crocs Gators because we're in the reptilian family. Love these. Absolutely love my Crocs. Wouldn't trade these. 2 through hikes. Starting to get worn out, but I was still doing river crossings in the 100-mile wilderness with these bad boys. Little slippery, but I think everybody was slipping around. So, to be honest, super impressed with these. Yeah. So we'll finish up clothing. I kind of got distracted. I use 2 pairs of boxer briefs. I think boxer briefs are the best choice. You can't go with boxers. It's too much just loose material and you'll get chafing. And I'm not a really big brief guy, so I think boxer briefs is a nice mix. I used some Calvin Klein, just polyester ones. They're actually pretty light. They're nothing special. You could probably get a pack of something. I've had these for longer than I should admit. And once I found out that these were synthetic, I brought them on the PCT and they worked great. I got a pair on right now. I got this backup pair. What I usually do is use the same pair the whole section, and then I'd get to town, take a shower, put my fresh shots pair on, do laundry, and I'm back to 2 pairs. The reason I have 2 pairs, can you go commando when you're doing laundry and stuff? Probably. But when I wanted to go swimming, 1 pair was my swimming shorts, then I had a fresh pair to put on. And just in case you run into any problems with continence on the trail, you're not a thru hiker until you shit your pants. But being so technically I'm not a thru hiker yet. I'll just put that on there. Nice to have 2 pair. I know a lot of people do with 1. You can do with 1, but I like 2. This is my bag that I put all my clothes on the bottom, and then I put my quilt, my liner, my puffy, all in this bag, compress it down, do it up, put at the very bottom of my pack, done deal. I love this. I had a bigger one that was heavier. It was starting to fail that I had from the PCT. One of those big Sea Summit one with the dongles and the freaking straps and stuff. Obviously not the lightest. Something that Zippy pushed to me. She said, hey, your compression bag could be lighter. So I got an Osprey, 35 liter. Perfect. Got a little hole on it. A little tiny little scratch, like little rub mark. Threw some tenacious tape on both sides. Good to go. It holds air. I used it as a pillow the other night. When we were in the car, or it was like a bigger pillow because we were kind of on the decline. I used it as a bigger pillow to keep my head up, and it kept air. So this is working good still. So yeah, I was really impressed by this actually. But when your bottom of your pack gets wet because you're putting it down, even if you do have a rain cover, sometimes the bottom of your pack can still just get soaked. This would be damp on the outside, and then everything on the inside was nice and dry. So really impressed with this Osprey bag. Really worked out. I'll put it on this back. Okay, finish up clothing. I got a pair of biking gloves that we got from Decathlon while I was
Never
in.
saw you wear them.
What?
Never saw you wear them.
I've worn them 3 mornings, I think. Yeah. That decently light. Since they're biker gloves, they're pretty water resistant. They're made for like wet mornings and damp mornings. I use them in Northern Iron, so they definitely got their test of how warm and dry they kept my hands. Well, they didn't really keep my hands dry. They keep them warm even though they're wet. I like gloves. Gloves is one of those layers that you can take off while hiking very easily. If you're feeling like you're cold in the morning, but you don't want to, like, wearing something like a Patagonia, your Houdini, you have to put your backpack off, take it off, put it in your backpack, put your backpack on. It's a whole faff. If you just leave something like a beanie and gloves and your normal hiking clothes while you're walking, you can take your beanie off, put it in a pocket, or your bum bag. Gloves, take them off while you're walking, put them in your bum bag. So it's one of those layers that keeps you warm when you're putting your cold tent away. It keeps your hands from just locking up when it gets in those really, really cold mornings. Don't regret them, I don't think, because when you really need your hands to be warm, you really want them warm. It sucks to have cold hands because you need those things. They got removable thumbs on them. Great. And then knee braces. I got these right before the whites because my knees were starting to feel just like a little sensitive. All of our knees feel sensitive on the trail. I mean, come on. But I knew that the New Hampshire Trail was going to be even more steep, even more climby, just a lot of rocks. So I decided before I got too bad, I would throw some knee braces on. And I think I liked them. I think I really did like them. I think they really did take the edge off of my knee pains. They keep your legs warm in a cold morning. And I didn't really feel like they were super suffocating when we're going up a climb on a hot day. I didn't really notice them being too hot. Which is surprising. I thought they were gonna drive me crazy with how hot they are, but to be honest, didn't really notice them. So I just got these on Amazon. They're Blitz-U brand, but not like you gotta get this brand. They did work out good, but I would just say the kind of ones that go all over your knee, not like the little like strap ones. We tried a strappy one. I didn't really like that version as much. I kind of liked this more sleeve version one. But yeah, I definitely recommend them for the whites in southern Maine because there's just a lot of steep descents and you do a bunch of that and your knees start aching and it's hard to go to bed at night sometimes. So yeah, and also another pro tip, grab them, fold them twice like that. This was my knee pillow. Bada bing, bada boom. I figured out that this actually worked really well. That's my knee pillow. So I am half ultralight and half obnoxiously heavy. It's just how I do it. So I kind of like that, yeah. And then I was trying to find another purpose for everything, and it's some of those little pillowy things that sometimes you can make sacrifices with. For a side sleeper, it actually worked out pretty nice. So yeah, we're all done with this section of the.
Did you talk about your Zippy?
Oh, I didn't know. Well, let's go straight in to the Z-Light. Hand me my beer.
I'm assistant.
Yeah. Sorry, I was starting to get just a little from talking so much. This is probably a problem that Zippy has a lot, where she needs a drink. I'll be a place to put this now. Sorry, thank you. But yeah, so like Zippy said, I forgot my Z-Light because it's not real. I mean, it is part of my sleeping system. So, but it's more than just a sleeping system. It's a way of life. This is probably my most used piece of gear, almost. Every single break, I'd get it, I'd throw it down, and me and Zippy are living happy. Where bums are nice and cushioned and dry and just, it's the good life. You can lay down in it, take breaks, take a nap. Oh my gosh, my Z-Light is amazing. And then when I set my tent up, my gear goes on one side, my Z-Light that I'm planning to sleep on goes on the other one. and I get to do all of my cooking. I'm using as a yoga mat in the mornings. When I started getting some back pains or hip pains, I was stretching in the morning. It's like my yoga mat. And what it does is that I don't have to inflate my pad right away when I get to my tent. This is my temporary pad, keeps me warm, keeps me comfortable, and then right before I go to bed, I blow this up. I instantly, also a little pro tip, if you blow up your pad, at least this pad, even if it's fully inflated, I can curl it on itself and put it to the front of my tent, and it's out of my way, ready to go. Then when I wanted to sleep, I unfolded it, lined it on my sea light, laid on it, and was ready and off to bed. But so that kind of protect, by not inflating this early and doing all my cooking and all my, rummaging and all that stuff, stretching, it just avoided this from being popped or running into the risk of wearing it out, wearing a seam out, just puncturing it. But also, this stops it from getting punctured. This is on the very bottom of my tent. It stops water from seeping up onto my pad. It stops a sharp branch or root or something, a rock, from possibly doing damage to my pad. So this protected my pad, and if this ever failed, if my Nemo ever failed, I had a backup. I could actually maybe get a night's rest on this. This is also from the PCT. So 2 through hikes, definitely starting to get flat, but it still serves its purpose of being comfortable on a break and protecting my pad. So it's still got some use out of it. I mean, it's still got some use in it still. Not for your primary pad, but as a backup, this is still good to go. So I love my Z-Lite. Is it a little bougie? Yes. Is it heavy? Yes. But once again, I'm not ultralight.
Zippy loves it too.
Zippy loves it. She doesn't have to carry it. So find yourself a hiking partner that has a Z-Lite, and you're even more comfortable ultralight.
That's the ultralight.
That's the ultralight. And then we got the Tyvek. Great ground sheet, super durable. The same one for the PCT and the AT. I regret that a little bit. I think my one for the I should have replaced it between the PCT and the AT because it's starting to get so fibery that it's picking up more dirt. It's picking up more like leaves and little ground scatter or whatever you want to call it. It was harder to shake it out and getting clean, and I also think it's not as water resistant anymore. It's absorbing a lot more because it's so kind of worn down and fibery. It's kind of like a piece of paper that you folded a million times and crumpled over and over again. It's starting to get to that point where it's so nice and napkin-y and soft that it's just so fibrous and it's starting to cause problems. So I should have replaced my Tyvek in between the PCT and the AT. I didn't. Still worked. Only caused problems a couple times during those super rainy days. When this gets waterlogged, it's pretty heavy.
You should mention it goes under the tent.
Yeah, it goes on the tent. It's my ground sheet. Yeah, I was saying, it goes under my tent every single night. I want to protect my tents. This is one of the most important pieces of gear that you have. It's also one of the most expensive pieces of gear that you're going to have. Keeping your tents nice and fresh. It's very rocky and rooty on the AT, and it's very just gravelly and kind of dirty on the PCT, so both of those instances, just keep your tent safe. I really recommend Tyvek as a ground skirt. That's I give a shout out to the Faison trekking poles.
Faison Compact 3.
Faison Compact 3, as my lovely assistant advises me. The gear encyclopedia right next to me, great to have. These were once again a recommendation from the gear encyclopedia herself. These they say they're the world's lightest trekking pole, and though who knows if that's true or not, they are incredibly light. They're 158 grams. Is that each or the pair?
I think that's each.
It's each, yeah. But it's probably a third of the weight of my old trekking poles, and I thought it doesn't matter. Most of the time they're planted in the ground. Why does the weight matter? Well, as Dan Durston said in a podcast, the Hiker Trash Radio podcast, he is a big believer in light trekking poles because they're easier to flick and move, and you're kind of they're like a more of an extension of your hand, and they're not as kind of like burdeny and kind of slow. So I am kind of converted. They are really durable. They're really comfortable. The The grips are very comfortable, the straps are very comfortable, and they're incredibly light. And he's right, like when you're trying to go and you're trying to keep your pace and your stride and your momentum, it's so much nicer to have a little light tracking pole to flick around. I was scared that they weren't going to like support my like weight as much because they were so light, but no, they are absolutely amazing. I've fallen so many times, these saved me, and they only got a little bent when they get caught in between rocks and you just keep going because you're in a roll and you just keep going and going. If they get caught in a rock, you gotta like be able to stop, turn around, get it out, and don't like try to just, I'll just keep like, I'll pull it out. Like that's when you might run into bending it problems. But Zippy's bent hers back a couple times, so it's not like it's the end of the world if it does get bent. They can be bent back into shape. So really highly recommend them. I think they're $70 on Amazon. Really affordable. They should be more known. That's kind of a sleeper in the thru hiking. Everybody talks about Black Diamonds. They talk about Leckies. They talk about Cascade Mountain Tech. I think Faison should be in the competition for the #1 spot. Affordable, functional, and the weight. They hit all three. I might as well just work my way this way. Yeah. Okay.
Assistant duties.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little scratchy. Shout out to Beer.
Yeah.
You're the real MVP. I do use a rain.
Waterproof bag cover.
What? Bag, yeah, bag cover. It's one of those things that's controversial on the trail. Versus a bag liner in the inside or a bag cover on the outside. This is heavier, but my backpack is so big and has so much material that if I let it get soaked through, I'm adding so much weight, just as much water, just from the water that the bag can absorb. I don't care about that. Even if the stuff inside the liner stays dry, the bag is absorbing a lot of water. And I was trying to reduce that. And I already had it. My first backpack came with it. It's got a C-pole. Fits, easy to throw on. I liked it. And I compare that with, everybody knows, the famous tangerine poncho that unbuttons and can lay it out flat. It has little grommets. You could use it you could set it up as a cover if you're like taking a break or something. Did I use it for that? Of course not, because it's so much fat. But you could use it, and yeah, I think it did pretty decent. I got it given to me from a hiker on the PCT. I'm trying to find the brand. It's Anyoo, Anyoo is the brand. Just an Amazon purchase, I'm pretty sure. Starting to get some tears on the liner inside. It was definitely starting to seep. Stuff is starting to seep through. I think the liner on the inside's just not holding up, but the purpose of it is not to keep me completely dry. It's to keep me from getting super, super drenched. And it did that. If I would have not had this, I would have been dripping. All your clothes would have been so completely saturated. I think it really did keep me from getting super, super saturated. And it's an additional cover for my backpack. I put it over my backpack. Now my backpack has 2 different layers. My backpack did stay pretty dry, even in torrential rain. With these 2 things, my backpack did really, really good of staying minimally wet. Not perfect, but nothing's perfect out there when it comes to the rain. But I think I like this combo. The downside of it is this keeps you hot. If you're going uphill, you're gonna get hot. And there's a point where you're sweating so much that you're just getting wet in the inside anyways. If it's cold outside and you're going flat or downhill, this would keep you warmer, which is really nice. But on the uphills, which the AT, they love uphills. The whole trail was uphill. We never went downhill. This did kind of come into conflict with, your body temperature. So Zippy had an umbrella. Yeah. I think the umbrella is better for uphill and better for a light rain. This is better for a torrential sideways wind blowing. When the wind blows, you're kind of screwed no matter what. But it did really, really, really good as long as I wasn't going in a steep climb. So take that what you will. Nothing's perfect. You kind of choose do you want to stay warmer? Do you want to stay drier? Do you want to save weight? You got to kind of pick those battles because when it comes down to it, things are gonna get wet out there. But yeah, I think this probably gonna be retired soon. It might just not be a hiking thing anymore. This might just be a walking around town. So if you ever see a walking traffic cone out there, come say hi. That's probably me. Yeah, let's keep moving along. We got water filtration system. Zippy got me into, on the PCT, she got me into the CNOC. This is the Vecto X. Make sure if you're through hiking, get the Vecto X, not the Vecto, because the Vecto just won't hold up. The Vecto X is a more durable product it's an improvement on the Vecto. Really, it's pretty affordable, like $30 or something. And this has been the PCT and part of the PCT and the AT, and it's still going. I absolutely love this. And you couple it with the Sawyer Squeeze with the blue coupling on there, attaches to there. You've probably seen this in videos. Hang it up, bottle in there. Oops, it goes that way. And you're filtering water hands-free. You set your water up at the beginning of break. You go about starting snacking, doing your other stuff, and this just filters on its own. You get to camp, you can fill up your water, put it up, start setting up your tent, and it's doing a job for you while you don't, so that you don't have to do it, which on the trail is worth $1 million. It's crazy how many chores that you have to do. Making one of them hands-free is a lifesaver. It's not as fast as like just dipping your bottle, putting your Sawyer on it, and drinking from it. It does take a little bit longer at a break, but if you have the time, if you're not going for a FKT or a big 30 plus mile day, to be honest, I think this is the way to go. And then shout out to a koozie. Or,
do you want to demonstrate?
Yes, I'll demonstrate. Take the beer into the koozie.
Yes.
So when you pack out a beer, or you get to town and you have a beer, you get to Trail Magic, you have a beer, you have a koozie ready to go. Keep your beer cold. And then, oh, that is dangerous. When the other use of this, Sawyer, if I drop this bag on a rock, a little bit more protection for it. If it's a really cold morning, cold day, this keeps it a little bit warmer. It was just another purpose of this was to put my Sawyer in, just to keep it from getting bumped around, because who knows what happens out there, and this is one of your most important pieces of gear. If this thing gets damaged, unless you're hiking with other people, you could start really getting in trouble. So keeping this safe was a priority, and I decided that this was a way to help keep it safe, was just to put it into my koozie. So little pro ToeTag tip right there. Throw this all together. I do like the Sawyer bag, to be honest. It's nice just being able to grab both of these items from somewhere. Sawyer bag barely weighs anything. It's so light.
It lets it dry as well.
Yeah, it lets everything dry, and it's just, yeah, I think it's worth it. Some people like try to cut weight so much. I like it. So bada bing, bada boom, throw that there. Okay, let's go to the final wee section. We'll go into food. Wow, what a piece of gear this is. Very controversial once again. A lot of my gear is controversial. This is heavy. 370 grams, I believe, the last time I saw it. Plus or minus a little bit, but it is the fastest boil. It also, it locks in so that you're not trying to just balance your pot on it. It locks in. It's comes with a neoprene sleeve, insulates my water, my tea, whatever, my hot drinks. The biggest reason that I have a Sawyer, a jet boil compared to like something like the BRS plus a pot is that I cook, I make coffee in the morning and I cook my dinner at night, obviously. So this, I don't want to have to set it up twice in the day. Like I'm doing a normal boil, it's so much more faff, and yeah, I love it. I think it's worth the wait. One of my favorite pieces of gear because it's safe. It makes cooking and doing stuff like that, less of a hassle. It kind of removes a chore that I didn't like and made it something that I didn't mind, which once again is huge on the trail. Minimize your chores, make them more bearable. Zippy got her pump to make inflating her pad more comfortable. This is my more comfortable thing. It also, it's kind of secure, more secure, where I do something that is not advised. I cook in my tent.
Don't try this.
Don't try that at home. Legally, do not try that at home. It is stupid, but I did it. I know I can get berated up and down in the comments because of that. I know that it's dangerous. The biggest danger, even if you're done cooking, is just spilling your hot liquid all over your tent. Your hot breakfast essentials and coffee when there's a cricket in your tent.
That happened.
It's
the cricket's fault.
But yeah, I mean, other than that one spill, to be honest, never had an issue with it. But I wouldn't do that with a normal stove and a balancing pot on top of it. I barely wanted to do it with this, but it was my kind of, yeah, I don't know, bad decision, controversial. But I love my jet boil. And then I got my long titanium one. I got this given to me from a hiker at Trail Days. It's branded with Hoke on it, which is kind of cool. But long spoons let you get into the bottom of those Mountain House bag. Oh, I don't have my Mountain House bag. Yeah, I might as well talk about that. I know exactly where it is. So this is my pot. Because I have a jet boil that could act as a pot for tea and stuff like that, coffee, all that kind of stuff. For dinner, I would boil the water in this, and I would make my dinner in this. This is it has the metal lining. It's pretty insulated. If you really wanted to, you could wrap a puffy or a buff around it to insulate it anymore. I never really had problems with this. This will cook a Knorr. Just boil the water, throw the Knorr in this, give it 10 minutes, your Knorr's cooked. You don't have to sit there burning more fuel to try to boil the Knorr. I love this. I would use this for section 2, maybe push it to 3, and then I would clean it in towns, and then I would just get a new one. I would get another Mountain House. I'd treat myself. I bought a pack of them from Amazon before I left, and they were in my resupply boxes because I knew I wanted a fresh pot whenever I went to a new section. So I really, really like this combo. Boil the water super quick, and then your pot stays clean. I didn't have to clean this. It's easy to clean this with coffee. It's not easy to clean your Knorr bomb out of this. This, you just second breakfast it, you just pour some water in it, close it up, shake it about, drink the water. Or second dinner, yeah. And then when it starts getting nasty, you have a couple options. You wash it in town with some soap. If you're in the middle of the trail and it starts to get a little bad, start smelling, like if you put tuna in it, sometimes it can get a little bad. What you do is just, next time you make dinner, boil a little bit extra water, put your water in this, your boiling water in this, and you can close it up. If you close it up and you start shaking it, it starts inflating because you're creating steam. Don't make it pop because that will put steam and boiling water everywhere. If you put boiling water in this, give it a couple sloshes with it open, carefully, close it, and minimally kind of move it around. Like you can move it from right side up to upside down. It still holds it pretty well. Just make sure you secure it all the way. I never had a problem. Don't burn yourselves at home. This can be a little crazy, but yeah, boiling water will sanitize this right up, and I love it. So little pro tip right there. Mountain House bags are pots, and then this long enough to get to the bottom of the Mountain House bag without getting your hands all inside the bag. Clean hand, boom, done. Love it. Then I have these dry bags, the Sea to Summit lightweight ones. Lightweight, not very lightweight. I think like 36 grams or something like that. I liked having my breakfast and lunches in one and my dinners in the other one. I had my food separated. I knew exactly where food was with which one and made it so that I could separate them in my pack and not have one big just food bag. Not the lightest weight decision in the world. I could probably start moving to a food bag, something like this. Maybe a little bit wider so that fits my bag a little bit better. but I actually liked it. I like having my food separated. It made it easier to find stuff, and when my bag got wet, it did keep my food extra dry. Breakfast essentials, it's very important to keep them dry, and this is where my breakfast essentials are, which is God's gift to the earth. So yeah, that's my food storage a little bit, and then we'll go on to my bum bag. Zippy got me onto these. This is super lightweight, came from Decathlon. I think it probably cost $6. And it has the back zipper, which is a requirement, because you could put your wallet in the back zipper and then you don't risk losing it when you're accessing your main zipper. And put your snacks in there. I put my glasses in there. I got my hand sanitizer, my Dr. B's, my reusable tissue, like your mints and gum or whatever else, a couple snacks, like I said, extra storage in your front. My first backpack's hip belt pockets were super small. I needed a little bit extra room that was easy to access. Something that you want to be able to grab on the walk, on the go. Also, when you're in town, take your backpack off, leave it in the hotel. This still goes out with you. It's got your wallet, it's got your hand sanitizer. You're off to go to the store and the restaurant, and you don't have to go through your backpack trying to find your wallet and everything that you need to put in your pockets. This just comes right with you. Bam, done. Keeps your passport safe. If you're an international traveler, put in that back pocket. This never leaves you. This is the most important thing on the trail when it comes down to like keeping your passport with you. You just never take this off. It's really easy. It's so lightweight that you don't even notice it's on you.
Slept with it on the other day?
I slept with it on the other day, and I was looking for it in the morning. I was frantically going around the whole rental car. Where's my bum bag? It was behind me, so I couldn't even feel it. So if you lose your bum bag, check your body. Another storage thing or town accessory. My Gregory pack came with a mini backpack. It's what you put your water bladder in if you're gonna do the whole like camelback water bladder, hosey dealy system. This is where you'd put it. That's what its intentions was, but its dual purpose is as a little mini backpack. I ended up loving this. You go to get to town, like I said, your main backpack is in the hotel. This comes with you. You're running errands, you're going to the store, you could throw some stuff in here. You're going to do a darn tough exchange. Your socks go in there, you don't have to carry them. Another use for it, put your food in. I put all my food in here. Boop, this goes into the bear box. This was my bear box food bag. So I didn't have to use my Osprey because I didn't have to take my clothes out of my Osprey to put my food in there to like put it in. I started using this and it was awesome. Just throw it on your back, boop, off to the bear box I go. And yeah, like I said, it's really good for in towns. It's really good for resupplying. You can minimize the plastic bags that you need to get and carry around. You've got a million plastic bags, boom. At least you can throw some stuff in here. Yeah, overall I like it. It's pretty lightweight and it works its purpose, and yeah, I think the little mini backpacks are overlooked in the thru hiking world just for running errands. Okay, we'll go. Yeah, I got my hat and sunglasses. This is just an Amazon full brimmed hat with a little neck protector thing. A little bit overkill on the AT, didn't really use it as much. On the PCT, I never took this off because of how sunny and exposed it was. The neck protector really helped because sometimes the sun's at a really, really low angle, so that this just protect it. It makes me look like Snickers from the cartoon Bluey. Shout out to Snickers. But yeah, I like it. Not super necessary on the AT. I think you could get away with a lighter hat. But I already had it. I liked it. It was my look. It was my thru hiking look. So fashion important. So I kept with it. And then I got my sunglasses. These are Knockarounds. Shout out to Knockaround from San Diego. Really cool customizable glasses that you pick the color of the frame and the lenses and the side things and even the logo. You can change colors. You can get polarized or not polarized, gradients or not gradients. I love these glasses. I think if you can get them on, like they have sales all the time. If you get them on sale, they're like $30. And they're super comfortable. I have a humongous head and they still fit me really good. They actually go over my normal glasses really well too. I love these sunglasses, and I you just throw a leash on there. I'm using a Chums right now, but I probably wouldn't recommend going with these big ones because for the AT and even for the BCT, they absorb water a lot and they're tough to dry, and water includes sweat on your neck. So probably go with one like Zippy has one that's more like a string, won't absorb as much water, a little bit lighter weight, and that'll still do the job. But this worked. The reason that you want a leash is that when you're hiking, and let's say you're going in the AT and you're going from a sunny section, you got your glasses on, you're going back into the tree cover where it's too dark to have your sunglasses. They go down, you don't have to lose them. You're not trying to always find your sunglasses. You're not leaving them on a rock because you put them down during the break. Your glasses are either hanging or on your head or in your backpack, so you don't lose them. Whole AT, same pair of sunglasses, didn't lose them. Zippy, same pair of sunglasses, the whole AT, didn't lose them. We both use leashes. Good use for a leash. And then when you're hiking, they're on, they're off, they're on, they're off. You're not trying to fiddle with them, find them wherever they are. I think it's really, really overlooked piece of gear is a little sunglass leash. And then now we'll go into electronics. Let's do the headlamp. This is the 4-class from Decathlon once again. Decathlon's a great company if you don't know about them. They're UK based, I think, right?
They're European.
Oh, it's European. And they have super affordable gear. This is 15 quid?
Yeah.
It's 15 quid, so probably about what, like $18? Call it 20 bucks. Super affordable, and this is super lightweight. And the thing I like about it the most, lasts for a long time. It's got red, it's got single beam, and it's got the higher beam. But one of the coolest things is that if you put it to red and this green light goes out, after a few seconds, you click it again and it turns off. You're not having to cycle through every single setting every single time you want to turn it off. You put it on red, you do your thing, you're doing your thing, and then all of a sudden, once you want it turned off, you just click it off and it's gone. You never have to go to the normal white light if you don't want to, which is really nice for helping when you're in a tent or a crowded campsite. Sometimes you don't want to go to that white light to disturb somebody else. It ruins your night vision. There's a lot of reasons why you want to use red light. So the fact that you never have to go to the white is actually really, really cool. I like it. Super, like I said, super lightweight, super affordable. I think this is overlooked too. I don't think enough people know about the 4-class light. Zippy's recommendation. Very, very, very nice. And while we're in lights, I'll go with this little bad boy. This guy. This is something that a lot of people, actually probably nobody else has one. This is my tent light. Little solar panel on there, so I just put it on the outside of my backpack. It charges every night. I used this every time it was dark in my tent. I used this. I used my headlamp less than 10 times on the trail, I would say, which is crazy to say. But it's because it's starting to wear out. I have this BCT and the AT. I almost want to start like figuring out how I can replace this. This was a little tchotchke that I got for free. But this just saved my headlight's battery. It weighs 10 grams, maybe 15. It's super light. You hang it in my tent, turn it on, and then like you're eating, you're doing your stuff in your tent, and it's just enough light to get your stuff done. And then if you're wearing a beanie, you can actually tuck it right here in your beanie, and it's your headlamp. And I like it for how light it was. It gets a lot of use. It lasted 2 through hikes. It's starting to finally act up. And it just saved my battery. I didn't have to worry about this battery. This would be for like emergencies or like when this ran low, because it does kind of drain fast-ish. I mean, it's solar paneled and it's so light it doesn't have a very big battery. But this was more like an emergencies, a super heavy use, or if I really needed to be walking around in the dark, night hiking, that kind of thing. But other than that, I used my little tent light. So yeah, I think these are cool. Where to get them, I don't know. I might actually try to figure out how to start marketing something like this, because I think it's actually a really cool piece of gear. If I can get it down to something like 10 or 15 grams and it has the functionality that this had, this is just really cheaply made. because it's like a tchotchke that you'd get at like a trade show. But I think it actually has a purpose. You don't have to sit there with your headlamp every time you want to be in your tent. You literally just hang this up at the top of your tent. When you want light, you click it on. When you don't want light, you turn it off, and then put it on your backpack when you're packing up, and it charges while you're hiking. So I really liked it. Here's my electronics bag. Throw all different kinds of stuff. I'm not going to go through everything in here. I mostly just want to grab my power bank. This is an OtterBox 5K milliamp hours. I probably needed to power the least amount of anybody I met on trail. I would use this rarely. I could get away with just one charge of my phone. I would leave it on airplane mode pretty much the whole time, very religiously turning it off. And this is just for emergencies because your cell phone is huge. And then just, if you want to know, I got an iPhone 15, the normal size, pretty big, pretty hefty, took great pictures. I threw an OtterBox on it, threw screen protectors on it and the phone. Make sure you put one on the phone because I did have this crack a couple times by dropping it on the trail. Just protect your camera, protect your lens, your screen. So this would last enough, but just in case it didn't, I had my little 5K. I think at 5K, if you can minimally use your data or your service on this, because the AT does have a lot more service than the PCT has, then I think 5K works for somebody that's minimal like that. But this OtterBox one is pretty light when it comes to terms. I think this is from the PCT also. In terms of technology, there might be better, but I think it worked out for me. And yeah, I got like a Sharpie in here. I put I had stamps, I put stickers in here. I got a couple permits that I still haven't thrown away. I got Zippy's bracelet in here. Oh, yeah. I have, let's just, really quickly, I'll touch on this. I have a little mini toothbrush. It's cut down super small. This is for my tent zippers. If I got into camp early, let's say it's 6 o'clock, and I knew I had plenty of time to do all my chores, and I'm sitting there kind of figured out, I would do some stretching, but I still had plenty of time. I would brush the teeth of my zipper all up and down, and then I would use a zipper lube. I don't like the oily kind. I have it in here still. There's one that's more a waxy, almost like a wax crayon. It's all melted because it's gone through so many sections. You can find them, I think Amazon has them. Just look for one that's just more like a wax. Clean your teeth, wipe some of that on there, and my zippers were brand new. I'm kind of a zipper nerd when it comes down to it. I was fixing zippers all over the PCT and a couple times on the AT. And this is one of my tools I use to help keep my zippers fresh. Dirt will clog the little teeth, and then the zipper has struggles to go past them. And when the zipper struggles and you have to pull it harder, then the zipper starts expanding, and then it won't put your teeth back together. And that's when when you zip it and it doesn't actually close, it just opens again on both sides. That's because the wings of your zipper are expanding. You need to pull them down with the little pliers. You can look up a video online. It's really, really simple. But this was to avoid having to do that because pliers are heavier than this thing is, and my wax lube combined. So just keep when you get a new tent, lube it up when it's fresh. As you're going, I think 4 times on the trail, brush the teeth of my tent, put a little bit of that wax lubey stuff on there, zip it up a few times, boom, done. So really liked that. I have these little reusable bags. Probably heavier than they need to be. I liked the fact that I wasn't using plastic. I thought a normal bag would wear out more. So I used these. They lasted really, really long. I like it, but they're not lightweight. Then I have another one for my first aid kit. I got some gauze in here. I got my toenail clippers. I got my earplugs. I got Band-Aids. I got moleskin. I got Neosporin. I have my safety pins, and I got little nicks and knacks to repair a little bit of zipper connectors, all different kind of stuff. I got a reservation for a campground. It's just general first aid stuff. I cut down a lot of this halfway through the trail, but I think it's one of those things where you're glad you didn't use it, but if you ever needed it, you're going to be sad that you don't have it. So it's a fine balance of not carrying too much first aid, but just enough. If you don't know how to use it, you shouldn't be carrying it. But just in case, on the PCT, Zippy went over blowdown, got a big gash on her leg that was pretty big. Neosporin on it. We could have got we gauzed it up and just to keep it clean for maybe a couple days while it tries to build a little bit of skin. I think overall pretty basic. And then lastly, I'll touch on my toothbrush. I don't know why that's last. It just happens to be. Little foldable toothbrush, pretty basic, whatever. Nice, I like it. Worked really well. And then this, Zippy found these.
Yeah.
Matador. This is a reusable toothpaste tube. It's kind of like a C-knock where you have this part on the top. It can be tough to, I'm not gonna do it right now because it's kind of tough. It's like a nice seal but you pull this over, it opens up the back, and you could buy like a nice sized one. You could use it in town. Me and Zippy could fill both of ours up, buy a big tube, use it in town, fill ours back up, and it would be mostly gone in there. And this is the 2-week capacity one, and Zippy's carrying the 1-week capacity, the smaller one.
More than a week.
Yeah, but yeah, it does. It does last a long time. We're habitual teeth brushers. When you first thing you do when you wake up, and the last thing you do before you go to bed, I was brushing my teeth. And this is really cool so that you're not just having to buy tube after tube. Buying the small tubes, we would buy a big one and share it between us, and this is just a way to split it and refillable. Pretty cool for traveling. Mm-hmm. We liked it. From Matador, we found it out in Outfitters, and it was pretty cool. And then floss. It's hard to floss on trail because I like a mirror when I'm flossing. You don't want to damage your gums, but this works as thread to repair your gear. It's really, really strong. It's really just great thread when you need it. So, especially for something heavy duty like a backpack or stuff like that, this is really, really durable, strong thread when in need. So I was carrying some, little super small guy. This can't weigh more than 5 or so grams, so it wasn't a really big sacrifice. And I did use it when I got to town is when I would floss my teeth, because I actually had a mirror. But yeah, so that's that. Thank you for your patience in watching this. I know this has probably been a lot, but I think that's it. Yeah, overall I didn't sacrifice a lot to be ultralight, just enough. My base weights, I would have to give you an update, but I'm guessing it's probably 25, maybe a little bit under 25 pounds. Not the lightest.
You gotta be more than 25.
With like a couple days of food and stuff and the water, I was at 30 something. You know, water, it'd take it down to 30, and then 5 pounds of food wouldn't be outrageous. It'd be 2 days-ish. So we'll have to give you an update. I don't know my exact base weight, especially after, I didn't even know it started the trail, but after the trail, I definitely don't know. I made a few gear changes. But yeah, that's how ToeTag does it.
Yeah.
Yay! See you out there on the trail.